GM friends, welcome. Just a reminder, somebody hit the Gotchi bot. Start that recording, please.
Right. Can you guys hear me? GM?
Coming in loud and clear, GM, sir.
Yeah. GM. Get the recording going. Do we record do we want to do the Gotchi bot at the beginning of the whole hangout? Or is it just for the DAO call? I think I've been doing it at the beginning of hangouts.
I thought it was always at the beginning, but I'm not sure, to be honest.
All right. Here we go. Musashi 5-5. What's that? All right. Well, how are we doing? How you doing, No Future?
I'm doing well. Got to watch the one of the most boring boxing matches I've ever seen in my life. And
I
but
watched I watched it on like 20x speed trying to find a hit, and it never really came. They were just kind of dancing around each other.
yeah, it felt like there was I was surprised. I thought Mike Tyson would have been more aggressive, but he did. Like as you watched it, he kind of looked like a 60-year-old man trying to box. But you know, he didn't get knocked out. That's cool. And yesterday was the meme coin trenches were insane. Like just the action around the fight, pre-fight, and then during the
Yeah.
fight. So just like I don't know what's happening in this timeline anymore. Like the level of craziness that people like, there's no innovation. We're just peak degenerates right now. It's
Yep.
kind of insane.
Just circling the abyss is what it's definitely yeah, it's a strange space out there. It's also very fractured from what I wasn't at DevCon, but I'm seeing a lot of posts come in. Just like the whole EVM space is it feels like there's a bit of like, I don't know, an identity crisis or some sort of looming crisis for EVM as well. Like some people are really happy. Some people are like, what the hell is going on? Like Solana's eating our lunch, and it's like this like very centralized platform. And I mean, like meanwhile, like the Ethereum core team is putting out like 5-year roadmaps that are going to go live in 2030. It's like definitely interesting times for all involved. And then we have a president that's now going to support crypto. So it's like, yeah, it's the wildest convergence of everything.
Yeah, it's the timeline. The whole like, it's all just nuts. Like this week, Polymarket, the CEO got raided by the FBI, and they
Yeah.
took his electronic devices. And now there's like we were talking about earlier in the week, like people are afraid that he's doing this because he wants access to like they want access to the VPN like users, like who was U.S. users like
Mm,
basically betting on the election. And it's like we have bigger fish to fry. Then why are we going after this? What's the point of this? This is why companies leave this country. We need to like
right.
reverse course and stop doing this silly stuff.
Yeah. It's probably just their last like gasp of trying to get some power before January 20th.
Yeah. And then we have Gensler is reportedly going to quit, so that's great. I
Yep.
think that's amazing.
Yeah, very bullish on that. That's good. That's good for the space. Just the whole thing is like, I don't know, you see a lot of this people talking about this on X, but just the damage that the US has done to the industry has been, incalculable. Just the fact that the legit builders are trying to build cool stuff that is like built on crypto rails, and the US government is like just going after those kind of projects rather than all the scams that are happening. And just that's the reason that we're in like meme coin frenzy right now. It didn't have to go this way, with everything just being financial nihilism and meme coin degeneracy. but like that's what we've because meme coins are the most like egalitarian thing that you can see, but they also have like very little value beyond just attention.
Yeah, it feels like
So
we're in the technological slash financial version of idiocracy, where it's just like
yeah,
we're just crazy at this point. Like the dead animal or dead pet meta in meme coins.
yeah,
This is what
that
people
was
are
crazy meta. Yeah.
Yeah. We can build stuff. We can have like amazing technology that moves us forward and like changes lives, or we can just like be degenerate gamblers like that have, anonymous degenerate gamblers.
Yeah, the hippo is cute though, Light Piglet. I'll agree with that. It's a cute little hippo.
Yeah, I mean there have
Yeah,
been worse metas, right? Like this isn't it's I mean at least visually.
it's kind of like back in like the DeFi summer cycle. It was all about the food. It was the food meta, and it was just Ponzified farms basically. Yam, you guys remember Yam? Yam kind of started that, and then it was all sorts of stuff. Yeah, Pickle Finance is no better than Moodang. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's all about attention right now. What can capture the attention for a news cycle, pretty much.
Yeah, I just wonder when that music stops, because it's gonna stop. Like I was talking with somebody at the bar, and after the fight yesterday, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he watches like all this like crypto YouTube stuff," and he's like, "There are people on there calling for Doge at like $15." I'm like, "Do you understand that at $15, like the insanity of a $15 Doge? That's like the market cap of almost like Bitcoin right now." I mean, it's not impossible, but it's like we would have to really like stumble down a horrible road for that to happen.
Doge would have to be made the currency of Mars for that to happen, or the entire U.S. Just like the Doge, the Doge prophecy comes true. Just becomes the actual currency of the U.S.
Yeah, then we're full peak idiocracy at that point. Like we're watering the plants with Gatorade, and
I don't
oh
think
man,
Idiocracy could even come up with that. This is like
yeah,
next level stuff. But I mean, yeah, maybe Doge is better. What's the inflation rate of Doge? Anyone know? Maybe it's because it's not capped like Bitcoin, right?
no, I think I saw Shibatoshi because I follow him on X. He had posted like the GitHub repo, like directly what lines of code where that is listed. And he's like, so people stop asking me, and you can look at it, and there's like functions you can hit to I
Yeah.
don't know test it or something.
Oh,
Um,
it's okay. It's got a fixed yearly issuance of 5 billion coins. So it's like there is a path to saying, well, instead of having a Federal Reserve, maybe like economists want their inflation, right? So maybe it's just let Doge be the currency. Fit because people don't the what do you call them? The economists, the Keynesian economists don't like the hard money. They don't like that because it doesn't have inflation. So the Keynesian economists would probably rather have Doge than Bitcoin as the currency to replace the U.S. dollar.
Actually, I have a question for you because I saw we have some friends who are in the ghost talk conversation, and we're not going to talk about ghost price because that's inappropriate. But they did bring up a point about the idea of now that ghost is kind of untethered from the bonding curve, how that could be difficult to be an in-game asset, right? Because if it like moons, then it
Mm,
or dumps whatever, it affects like the ability to do
yeah,
things in games. And they brought up like kind of we talked a little bit about the idea of G bucks in Gotchi
right.
Guardians. Do you guys have plans for like, I guess, either an on chain or off chain coin of some sort that would have to be stable to make it like for gameplay? Because I remember you talking about this before. That was like kind of why the bonding curve was decent
Yeah.
because we don't want a coin that makes it like if you're trying to transact in games and it gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't have plans to make our own like stable coin. I would say there's two arguments to this. One is that yes, gamers don't want to buy an item that costs 10 ghosts when ghost is $100 and it's now $1,000 to buy that item. At the same time, you do need you don't want to always be like changing the price. If you want to have your asset at, you can like peg your asset to $10 worth of ghost. That's like one way, and that's kind of the way that we're planning to do it with G Bucks. So when you go and you buy G Bucks in Gotchi Guardians, it's not going to be uh, 10 ghost gets you a certain amount of G Bucks. It'll be $10 worth of ghost gets you a certain amount of G Bucks. So that's like it's almost that. I don't know if we would want to apply that ecosystem wide though, because it kind of it kind of like it doesn't really incentivize long term hodling, because you always know, well, it's if the price goes up or down, I'll just buy it at whatever I need when I need it, because it's always $10 worth of it. So I think it's good for some areas, but for some other things, like for Geist memberships, for example, the plan is to just have it at 19 ghosts per month, and let's see how it goes. We're not planning to make it 19 USD worth of ghost. It's just going to be fixed 19 ghost and then 99 ghost for the annual rate. So I think for gaming specifically, it might be better to have it as fixed to the USD. But for other things in the ecosystem, I think we like the idea of pegging it to a certain amount of ghost.
Yeah, it makes sense. Actually, we had I don't know if you see the comment from K2. Would you please talk more about gameplay of the gotchi points? Can you give us any alpha or additional information outside of what we've seen in the blog? Also the video I
Uh,
produced.
I would rather like put it out officially. I would just say that Gotchi token will be the like official currency of the Gotchi verse. So it's like we mentioned in the blog post, all the crafting, tipping, any sort of like micro payments that you'll want to make in the Gotchi verse will be using Gotchi. Personally, though, I want to also treat it kind of as the culture token of Aavegotchi, because it's not a we debated about this a lot. It's not a meme token per se, and we actually had quite a debate about like what is a meme token. But I think it's more of like, it's not a meme token, although gotchis are mimetic, but it's more of like it just represents the gotchi IP in a way. So this is not confirmed, but it's something that I think would be really cool to do. Like things that relate to the gotchi, specifically the gotchi IP, I could imagine those being purchased with gotchi token. For example, if we did like let's say we did a collection of gifts and we did a gift drop, and you can only you can own the gifts of the gotchis. I think it could be interesting to purchase those with gotchi instead of with like USDC or something. So things related to the gotchi IP, uh, everything like the gotchi verse is, when we say gotchi verse, we mean not only the gotchi verse the game, but the whole gotchi verse as a space, as like the world of the Aavegotchis, which includes the IP as well. So just some ideas on that. Like we're gonna find we don't want to market Gotchi token as a utility token, because no one gives a shit about utility tokens right now in this meta. Like we want to market it more as it's more like Doge. Doge is not a utility token, but you can pay for stuff with Doge. You could buy a Tesla with Doge back in the day. So I think it's like that. It's like it's a token that represents the Gotchi IP, and there'll be stuff that you can buy with it, but it's not a utility token. It's just like it's a uh, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a pure meme token, in that there's like nothing you can do with it. It's just representing like a news cycle or a news piece. But it's a culture token. It represents the IP. It represents Gotchi culture.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. So I guess I don't know if this is an appropriate question to ask. How do you I don't want to say market, but because it's different. It's like the idea of culture and memetics versus the utility and innovation of like, Ghost being, the ecosystem and the governance
Yeah,
token of a DAO. Do you guys have like a different approach for that? Like how cuz like I'm thinking like I'm looking
yeah.
at like all the different meme coins that are out there and the way they approach things. It's like a way different approach. Like how do you envision that?
I think for yeah, so Ghost is it's like the more DeFi staking kind of yield generating. We're gonna get to that on Geist. It's got it's got all that associated with it. It's also listed on Binance and Coinbase, which is it makes it very accessible to people. Gotchi will not be, I don't anticipate we're not going to get a Binance listing or like a tier one exchange listing for Gotchi anytime soon. It'll be more grassroots than that. But I do think that it gives us another kind of new talking point that we didn't really have with the Alchemica, because Alchemica was, even though they have like funny, kind of mimetic names, 4chan kind of names almost, like no one accepted them as utility as like meme tokens, because they were marketed and there's communications about them being like utility tokens. So I would say Gotchi, with that, we need to be more meme focused and make it more like meme driven marketing with that.
Yes, I can
That
imagine like
means
you guys putting out like posts like "Gotchi with hat" and stuff like that. Just stupid like meme pictures and
yeah.
yeah.
But we also want to make sure that the any attention that comes to Gotchi is also, people also learn about Ghost as well. So they're like they'll be Gotchi, like Ghost is kind of for I'm working on a post here just thinking about these ideas. Like Gotchi is kind of for the gas, the staking, the DeFi. Sorry, Ghost is for the gain, like the staking, the DeFi, the yield, and Gotchi is for the culture of Aavegotchi.
Yeah, it's almost like a mullet. Like Ghost is the front of
Right,
the
it
mullet
kind of is.
and Gotchi's the back.
Yeah, yeah. Gotchi is like a little bit. They're both fun tokens, but Ghost is like, because it's associated with staking and yield bearing DeFi. It is more like serious, I think. Maybe that's just how that's our own like pre uh pre-existing ideas of it, and maybe that's not how people view it, but that's just our notions at this point in time about what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Al had a question. I don't know if you can answer that about where was it? What will be the full liquidity strategy for Gotchi and the existing Alchemica LP and yield farming strategy?
For Gotchi, what do you mean, like the full liquidity strategy? We were just talking about this in the Gotchi gang chat a second ago. Just when the dex goes live, which pairs will be like incentivized with glitter. I think we'll have the like ghost USDC pair, and when Gotchi comes out, we'll have a I think, I think it would make sense to have a ghost Gotchi pair, maybe a Gotchi USDC pair, but I think probably not, just ghost Gotchi. Um, and for the Alchemica, personally, I don't. The season's going to be three-ish months, so personally, I don't know if we need to incentivize the Alchemica with glitter, but like I said to Immaterial, let's deploy get the decks deployed, get the pairs deployed, and then see how the volume is. If there's a lot of organic volume, but not a lot of people wanting to LP, and there's a lot of volume, but it's leading to a lot of slippage, it could make sense to add some incentives to get more LP, so we have like lower slippage for people. What happens to Alchemica LPs? Yeah, well, Alchemica, we will have the tokens on Camelot on Geist, and we can make Ghost Alchemica pairs. Yeah, and that's not hard to do. What the main question will just be, how much trading volume will there be? Do we want to incentivize them with glitter? Checking the chat here. What bonsai is to lens, gotchi is to Aavegotchi. Yeah, maybe. I don't know how potentially, yeah. Bonsai was like an airdrop, so yeah, that's interesting metaphor. Ghost, the protocol, gotchi culture. Yeah, I like that, Zbot.
Do you have any thoughts? I saw someone mentioned it in a chat a couple days ago, and I kind of like double tapped on it a little bit. The idea of burning or sacrificing gotchis for gotchi.
Sacrificing got like a gotchi for gotchi. It's not in the current tokenomics. There is a portion allocated towards like liquidity and growth. But yeah, I don't know if we really need to do that. I think there's other reasons to sacrifice gotchis. Will there be rewards to hold the gotchi token? Friction from selling. We are working on some vesting for the campaign. So this was when we were chatting with some other partners on this and advisors, they suggested doing some vesting. My pickle says no vesting, so ask. It's not required, and it won't be. It's not going to be a massive benefit, but it's nice. I think it's worked well for if you don't go overboard with it. It's worked well for quite a few TGs that I've seen. No, Blast overdid it. So did like Parallel. Parallel also overdid it too much. They went overboard with it. As far as syncs, again, we're not thinking in terms of it's not a utility or a gaming token. There will be things that you can buy with Gotchi, but we're not calling them syncs, because syncs is a term. It's like a very economic term. We want there to be stuff you can buy with Gotchi. I'm not going to give any details on vesting because it's not fully finalized, but it'll be revealed, discussed more as we get closer to the TGE. It's not going to be like insane vesting, though.
Yeah, as long as it's not like the arena, because the arena, SocialFi app, they have it so that you get 1/12 of your your allocation up front, and you have to basically claim it every month, but you have to remain active on the app for the full
No,
year, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
great for the app, but horrible for the user.
I think it's gonna be something more like you're free to claim all of your tokens, but you can if you wanna get a higher multiplier in the next round, then you can stake them and just like let them roll over. That's basically what it will be.
So I guess in terms of the mimetics, because I've seen the image of Gotchi, it looks like, the little plus sign almost looking in the circle. Do you have other like images associated with the token itself, or will that be like similar? Like, I don't want to call it like we kind of joke around the soju butt looking Gotchi for the token right now for Ghost. Um, will there be, I guess, other images or like a standard character associated with the Gotchi token?
Yeah, this was the current one that we're working with. There, we do have like other images that we've made around it. Uh, could also just I think the eye, it's not the plus sign, it's the gotchi's eye.
Oh,
It's
there
a
we go.
nice like abstraction of the gotchi. But I could also, when we do eventually get on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, I don't know if this will be the one that we end up using. We need to try a few ideas out there and see which like one works best. Maybe it might just be, the standard gotchi on a token, although it's pretty small. If the campaign lasts a total of 18 months, am I forever trading liquid alk for vested gotchi? Like I said, you'll have the option if you want to claim it. It's not going to be forced vesting. We're not doing any forced vesting. So if you want to claim it, you can claim it. If you want to roll it into like more gotchi, that'll likely be an option.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. It's interesting the approach of the culture token, uh, just because of the current landscape in crypto, and it like just being able to pitch a single token that's like just easy. Like, hey, this is Gotchi. It's like Ghost. We know
Yeah.
Ghost, but whenever I mention Ghost to other people, they always ask me. They start when like normies. They look up GHOST. Is this the token? It's like that's not the token. It's
Yeah.
GHST. So this, I think it's a more like a one-to-one straightforward gotchi is Aavegotchi. Even though it's not governance, it is that culture. It's the gaming
Yeah.
culture.
Exactly. Yeah. And got Ghost, we want to bring even more value to Ghost. It's the gas token. It'll still be the token of the bazaar. So people will be earning Ghost. And yeah, the staking is the last thing to that I am working on that with a kind of a new concept for that I've never really seen anywhere else. So excited to debut that once we got to get through this migration. We're halfway through the month. Made a ton of progress. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet here a few minutes ago. We got Alchemica bridging over. Let me show it here. Unless someone drops it first. Here we go. So we got Alchemica bridging over. Also have Ghost bridging over. Just haven't gone, put it live in the DApp yet, but it'll be soon. And we're working on the Realm Diamond to get that bridged over. And we are doing Gotchi live Gotchi testing as well this week. So pretty close to getting that. And I'm also going to be getting the bazaar working as well. Just got to deploy those contracts and do some work on the front end UI. But the migration is coming together. It's really nice having the chain live so we can do live testing rather than just doing everything on Polter first and then waiting for it to go live. So it's really nice having the chain. And then yeah, Camelot as well. Once the Alchemica start coming over, we do have a scheduled deployment with Camelot, assuming that they aren't, that they're haven't had to work on other stuff. I did get a confirmation from them last week that they'd be deploying very soon. So that's going to be cool. Finally having our native decks on Geist. and then we'll get these Alchemica pairs set up. Gotchi points. Campaign will start on the 21st. So what's going to be live on the 21st is you'll be able to burn your Alchemica and start earning points. We're also going to have a leaderboard live by then. We didn't get it up in time for the Geist encounter. And then starting, I believe, the 26th or around that time, you'll be able to actually start doing the spinning of the wheel with when you get the badges. We're basically going to do an airdrop of spins to everyone who's gotten badges up to this point. That's a little bit of alpha. So if you've gotten badges already, we're going to wipe the existing badges, but we're going to give you some cool badges in exchange. So you'll be able to redo the badges that you've already earned in the games, just so you can earn those spins again. So you'll kind of be able to double dip those spins if you want to play the games again.
Okay, that's good to know. Question for the badges: are we talking badges to game specific badges, like the Gotcha Guardians badges versus the SFA badges that
Yep.
we see, or is that also the badges that we see on the DAP itself, or are those the same? Maybe I'm mixing this up.
Those are the same badges. Yeah, those are the same. So the
Okay, cool.
badges that you earn in Guardians or SFA, I think Guardians will be the first one live. Gotchiverse will also have some badges because it will be going live. Like it will be going, from what I've seen so far with the team, we should be going live just in time for this campaign, at least with some basic functionality. So you'll be able to earn some badges in the Gotchiverse. You'll be able to earn them in Gotchi Guardians. And then SFA, I think the team needs to do a quick pass on that to make sure that the badges are all still functional, and then those will go live as well. So quite a few ways to earn spins. If you guys have any uh, like friends or scholars, anyone who might be interested in uh, getting some gotchi points during the campaign, that'll be a good time.
Ooh, Phantasma has a good question. He's asking. Well, it's not really a question; it's a comment. But social wallets, people who use social wallets because of their hardware wallet,
Yep.
how will I guess, the badge conversion to spins work?
Yeah, so we're very close to having this like wallet linking working. We're actually it's done. We need to get it working within Gotchi Guardians, and any game also that currently like supports social login. We're gonna recommend that they also uh, use it's called the ecosystem wallet from Third Web. So you'll be able to log into any game or any DApp as long as it's part of the Aavegotchi ecosystem. You'll be able to use the same. It'll basically generate the same wallet for you, wherever you log in. So and that what we can do is then you can link your ledger or MetaMask that has your Aavegotchi assets in there, and then we'll basically read those from the game, and we'll know that you have them, but you won't be able to do transactions with them, but you'll know that they're in there, and same with the Geist ID. Like we'll know that you've associated it with a member, so that will fix a lot of the issues. It's really annoying that we had to actually build this. Not we didn't build it ourselves. Like Third Web has done a lot of lifting, but there's things like uh, the apes use it. I think it's called, I forget the name, like permit or something. But it doesn't verify that you own the address that you're linking, which is like it's really stupid actually. You can like literally link any wallet you want to an address with that system. So we got Third Web to work on this quite a while ago, and they finally got it. They got the ecosystem wallet and the wallet linking, so that'll be live. Aiming to also have that going live this month. Yeah, delegate that XYZ. Cool feature, but useless for us because it's basically for claiming airdrops, is my understanding. But we actually need to verify that you own the wallets that you're linking.
In terms of the decks that comes over to Geist, will there be incentives from like like we had the aerodrome incentives? Will there be anything like that coming from Camelot? Or I don't know if you've mentioned this before.
They have their Grail token, but we have not discussed any like formal partnership with that involves Grail. I think they're probably open to it though.
Yeah, maybe
But
that's
yeah,
a
we have not
conversation
like
for the
done
DAO.
any. Yeah, we haven't done any specific. Like I know they're open to campaigns, so I don't think they'll just give us a bunch of Grail. They do have deployments on a bunch of other chains as well. They're just kind of like they're the primary Arbitrum Orbit decks. So I would be like fairly surprised if they gave a big bag of Grail. But yeah, we'll definitely ask them.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've got to play around with Camelot a little bit because I was like degenning a little bit on Ape Chain because their NFT market is kind of going nuts. So that's like the exciting part. Because I know you guys talked about mints coming to Geist and seeing what's happened over on Ape Chain, how like the excitement that's like kind of rose up over there. It's like one of the few NFT marketplaces that like actually has
Hmm.
liquidity and volume. So it'll be cool once we have our bazaar deployed and then other collections potentially coming out of the
Yeah.
bazaar from potentially other games and collection, other projects.
The you're talking about their like, Magic Eden deployed on 8 chain. Is that the one you're talking about,
Yeah.
or is it another native one? Yeah.
I think there's a couple other ones, but I've only used Magic Eden because they have their diamond incentive thing.
Right. What really the thing I love about the bazaar is that we don't have to pay any royalties or trading fees back to the platform itself. I'm not sure, what the deal they have with Magic Eden is, but and maybe there's no royalties paid back to them or trading fees. Would be surprised if that were the case. But like the small trading fees that we do have on the bazaar goes back to supporting the ecosystem rather than going to like another external partner that's just gonna sell it because it is Ghost. It's not like ETH. So that's one thing I think is pretty cool about the bazaar. It is kind of our homegrown exchange, and if we can get decent volume on it, like it's as we start expanding the collections, it's a cool source of revenue for the DAO, just for the ecosystem in general. Yeah, we were talking about Geist.fun. Yeah, we do want to have that. It's going to come out. I would say Gotchi will be the first token that starts leading the if when we do eventually get to uh, kind of a more meme coin casino DApp. It'll be around the time of Gotchi, I would say. So we have a lot to build. Uh, it's not, it's pretty easy to, from what I've seen, to fork something like Pump That Fun, but it's also, you got to make it a nice experience.
Yeah, I was very anti pump dot fun, but now I've been like in the trenches pretty much like with Photon. So it's like, yeah, if you bring that over, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just set my money on fire. Go for it.
What Al, what do you not like about Ape Express? That's what I mean. I want to build like I don't just want to build a Pump That Fun clone. I want to know what are the areas where we can improve on things, make like a cooler experience.
Yeah, we'll say I agree with Al. I've used Ape Express. I haven't used it in weeks because I kind of that first day was like when
Yeah.
everybody was jumping in and you saw it on the timeline, and then it felt like it just kind of died, and everything I bought just went to zero. The UI
Yeah.
is like horrible. It just feels like so janky. It's like it felt like it kept breaking often. Like I would try to like look at stuff and it's just moving so fast, and you can turn off the animations, but the filtering isn't great. And
Mm.
yeah, like I don't understand this, like, I mean, maybe it's a Zoomer thing. I'm an old man at this point, but I don't need everything flashing on screen. I feel like I'm gonna have a seizure trying to trade. It's already enough looking at like green and red, candles as they move fast, but to see all these images flashing, it's like I don't like this is too much information.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, it's inspired by Pump.Fun, I guess, uh, which is pretty flashy. But does Ape Express doesn't do that, does it? It's more. It's kind of more of a static UI. I mean, you can comment on stuff. The comments are all just spam.
Yeah, I would tell you if you like I've been making a lot of say content. They have a protocol that it's actually very recent, but it's really I really love it. It's called sapex.fi and
Hmm.
they have a global chat as well as a chat for each token. So you get to you can watch the tokens. There's not a ton of
Right.
activity there, say so new, but the global chat is so degenerate. So I've actually talked to Metaverse Johnny from Magic Eden. I'm like, I would love to see an NFT platform put in a global chat where it's just
Yeah.
kind of uncapped. People are just like, because when people are selling and buying, it's just insanity. It's great entertainment value. So sometimes I just go there to read the chat, not even trade.
Yeah. Like they have like back in the day, Poloniex had the troll box, and I was just like, it was so, and same with BitMEX. It was just so fun to sit there and like shoot the shit. Right now, it's all people just go to these and like it's just constant spamming of links and stuff. Like it's really kind of like it's just a bunch of spam. But yeah, I can see it'd be fun. We could have a Geist members only chat or something where you could. We do want to do that in the Discord as well. But yeah, having that like token holders and things on the website itself, I think is pretty cool because then you don't not everyone wants to like be in Discord all the time. Some people just want to be on the website and be able to like chat with each other on the site, but only for token holders. Sapex, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I'll drop an image. I'm taking a screenshot real quick.
Yeah, this new wave of UI, it's pretty. It's like no one gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, they have these
Buttons and
animations.
colors. It's like
Yeah.
all just
And with Sapex, this is fairly new. They actually got they're like I think a dev team that got funded through the Say Creator Grant Fund for their DevRel round. And it is like, it's not as flashy, but it's just like they have a leaderboard. You have your profile where you can look at everything that you own. It's just more advanced than a lot of like, I use When Markets, which is on Polygon. And it is like
yeah.
they were actually, from what I understand, got a grant from Polygon. And it's like, this is what are you doing? Like I've gone into the Polygon DeFi like streams. That's where I caught my Callium doing his little nasty work. And I was like, you guys need to like upgrade this thing because it's like it's it's so bare bones. I don't even for a while you couldn't even see like your portfolio of what you had. You had to go to
Right.
Polygon Scan to do it.
That's the thing. Like a lot of these teams, if it's like a weekend project or it's built in a couple weeks or something, the team builds it. And in crypto, everyone just goes on to the next thing. No one really, it's not very common to have like teams that actually stick around and continue iterating on the product to make it better. Most products that I see, they just someone makes it, gets it done, put it out there, and then they like go on to the next thing. Especially infra or like these kind of consumer facing things.
Yeah, see, I see them mentioning Art Run. We have a little degenerate gotchi chat, and we've been trading on some Art Run stuff. It would be cool if we saw some like the fake gotchi version of Art Run. I don't even really understand Art Run. I just like they point out tickers and I start buying stuff. But it seems like it's like me like art turned into tokens essentially or tokenized. I don't even know how to explain it. I think Zbot mentioned it up above, but
What was
it
this
is.
by Zora? Was this the art coin thing?
Yeah, it's like Zora. I think it's base. I got destroyed because I didn't realize that I went to buy something on Zora and I had it set to ETH. So it bridged without me realizing it bridged over like 0.001 ETH to buy like 10 of these 15-cent things, but it charged me $100 of gas going from ETH to Zora, so that hurt. But it's been cool because the stuff on there, like I've seen some big hits from some of the peeps, and they're getting crazy, like crazy wins. It is very new though. Like I've mentioned it to some of my other artist friends, like, hey, check this out because you might, it's always good to like, just jump from chain to chain and play around, see what's out there, and
Yeah.
gather feedback.
How do you on Art Run? How do you sort by? Can you sort by market cap? I can sort by trending, ending soon. How do I see like the biggest stuff?
To be honest, I don't even know. I just like I click what they tell me to click. Like I go, like I get like a hey, this thing looks cool, and it's like there's no rhyme or reason to any of the. A lot of it's just like, hey, it's like mimetic. It might run. Like I've people are trading stuff. Like the trading thesis right now is so insane. Like, but it's like, all right, we're good. I got to just put my brain outside of my head and go with the flow.
No
How you
future. Do
doing,
you
Golden
think that
Cross?
that's yeah, hey guys, interesting topic there. Like the thesis for trading now, it's sped up so much, right? We're trading like things in real time that happen on the TV. Do you see it slowing down or going back in the box in the future at some point? Is this just a fad or
I
it's
think it goes back in the box eventually, but it's gonna unfortunately, we're in like if this is the golden bowl and we're gonna run for like the next 6 or 7, 8 months, it's gonna get ridiculous for a little while longer. I mean, this week, and this is not financial advice, don't look into this, but I had a friend who like, "Hey, like, Hezbollah's cat passed away. There's a token
Yeah,
that just launched. This thing could run because the meta right now is dead pets." And I was like, previously I'm like, no. So I threw some Solana at it. It ran from 2 million to 100 million within like 2 days. And it's like this makes no sense. What I host my morning space, and for months I just kept lecturing the audience like meme coins are dumb. Let's not deal with this. And I finally was like, okay, I gotta get
been
off my
rude?
hands. And like yesterday, I made almost $1,000 trading a Mike Tyson token for this fight.
I know.
It hit
Yeah.
$1 million market cap and then retraced all the way down to 20,000. And in every situation I've ever seen like that, I jump out. Instead, I was just like, this doesn't make sense. I'm going to just counter trade myself. And I kept buying as it went down to 20 K. And then it reversed and went all the way back up to 200 K. And I took a nice profit off that. So it's like the meta for me is just ignore any kind of rationality that I have. And then like, you know, people's pets, like all like even we see this gif of Mike Tyson. Somebody put a coin out yesterday with like the whiff hat, but on his butt, and that thing started to run. And it's like, man, this is like I don't know what we're doing anymore. We've lost sight of what this technology can do, and we're just moving it. It's like we're in the casino, like .com era. I was alive for. It feels like that, where it's like stuff like Amazon and the Googles and whatever, like the real companies are just kind of sitting there and not getting as much attention. They'll win out eventually, but we got to kind of go through all this like garbage first to get there. Like we can't appreciate the real innovation and the quality until we get until you're buying people's images of people's butts and just stupid stuff.
Maybe this is peak humanity. This is what we're supposed to be doing, no
It's
future.
like, well, it's like Instagram, but with tokens, basically.
Yeah, idiocracy, but for finance and technology. It's like no one like literally yesterday. There's a big influencer, we'll call him. His name is OG Shoots. I muted him a long time ago because he's kind of annoying. I met him IRL and he's decent, but like on the timeline, he's annoying. Apparently, he was doing a stream. Phantom had done like an update where you had to enter your seed phrase. So he had his seed phrase on like a sticky note, and I think he showed it on the stream and got drained live for like $100,000. Some people are questioning whether it really happened because him and the LA vape cabal, as they're called, like in the meme coin trenches, like they tend to do stuff for engagement, like just silly stuff like that, like for content pieces. But it looked like he got drained, in real time. And it's like these are the people that everybody's following and trying to get the alpha from, versus people like Kobe and like the old heads who actually like gave you real like information and alpha. Now it's like, oh man, people like research is looking into what the zoo is going to name its new baby otter because that coin might run. Or like yesterday, this whole stupid meta of like mascots for different cryptos. Like we had one that I gave to like our little gotchi group, Blocky, which was like OKX's. They posted something which is like a stick figure with like the OKX like logo on the head. And it's like a billion coins came out. One of them migrated from Pump.Fun and then it ran to $2 million. And I caught it at like 200,000. And it, it's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, but I got to just like suspend disbelief, take the brain out of the head, put it on. I feel like we're putting the raffle in. We're going peak degen and just like let it ride out.
Full left, yeah, full left curve.
Yeah, and it pains me because I want to be intelligent. I love this Discord because it's one of the smartest Discords I've ever been in. Like it's a room where I know I'm a moron. Like, and I you want to be in those kind of rooms. And now it's like I'm in these like I'm looking. I feel like what's his name? Not Owen Wilson, his brother, from Idiocracy, where he's just looking at everybody and like, I don't understand what you're doing, but like, okay, let's, or like a Brave New World. I gotta like just kind
Yeah.
of go with the savages, just kind of give in and then fully accept it. And I did, and it's working, but it doesn't feel good. Like I go and tell my girlfriend what I'm doing, and like I can't visit you at work today because I'm here trading, like this stuff. It's just ridiculous. But the normies want it. Like my friends that I went to the bar yesterday and this guy's talking about Bitcoin. He's asking me about funding rates. And then I'm telling him, we're having a deep dive into leverage and all this stuff. And then I broke down, I was like, you could do that stuff and get liquidated, or you could jump into the trenches. And I'm explaining Photon and just warning him like, there's like 10,000 coins that are produced a day on each blockchain, and 9,998 of them are just going to go to zero. But you every once in a while, one of these things will run to 2 billion market cap, and like the powers that be are allowing this, and you just gotta like either accept it or like I guess the saying is like you could be right or you can make money, and like
Well,
I've
yeah,
been on the
it's
side of like I want to be right. It's like, man, I'm tired of being broke.
it's the lottery ticket idea. I mean, that's really what you're buying when you buy a meme token. It's like, especially if it's really really early, you're just like, if you buy enough of them, eventually, if you're decently lucky, you'll get a hit and might go to you might get the next peanut or something.
And then you got to be smart enough to finish the job.
Not yeah.
Yeah. Don't get off early and don't get off too late either.
Yeah,
Easy stuff.
it's the lottery,
But
but
yeah,
PvP. Like,
that's what I was thinking. We had a little chat in the general chat. I think it was yesterday. It's like, is this all the space is going to become? Because if it is, then like, yeah, we need to figure out how to, like, if to make the project survive, then we have to fully embrace that and go even beyond what it currently is. Or do you guys think that there's a user archetype, like a type of person out there, which a lot of people in this chat, I think, you know, might have been more this, like more a little bit more DeFi like oriented, where we're not looking for lottery tickets. We just want things that will give like decent yield on and not go to zero. Like that's kind of the other side. Because there were things like back in the day, platforms like Celsius were really popular. Like I had a bunch of normie friends that had pretty good money like on Celsius and these other kind of platforms, DeFi, like kind of CeFi lending platforms, offering like 10, 15, 20% on their money. Obviously, they all got wrecked when like all the CeFi and Celsius stuff went under. And that kind of shit is why we're seeing the meme coin lottery ticket thesis, because all those people were like, screw this. Like I'm not happy if I'm gonna get the same amount of risk with a platform like Celsius where it all might go to zero, I might as well just put it all on lottery tickets and meme coins. And that's what financial nihilism is. Like people just don't trust like these CeFi or like other platforms. And there's like, man, there's smart contract risk, there's all sorts of risk. To get that 15-20%, like the amount of risk to get that is really really high. I might as well just invest that same money in a meme token. but that's not what kind of this project, the foundation that we started on. We're actually more in the camp of it would be cool to have a decentralized way that's not lending to be able to actually earn some like a decent yield on an NFT. But like that's not. I'm just I think about it a lot. It's like is there still a market, a user base for a like a platform that's offering it's trying to offer more like stability and calculated yields like what we kind of have going at Aavegotchi? Or should we just go fully and embrace all of the, meme degeneracy?
I think you could do both. Like you
Yep.
like
No, I
people are
don't
gonna
think
get
so.
tired eventually of the memes. They're gonna
I don't think we
rotate.
can do both. I don't think there's it's not possible. They're literally two totally different like user archetypes, personas, and products. So as a startup, we can only build like one product. We can't build we can you can if you're lucky and you do a good job, you can have one idea ingrained in the user's mind, and it can't be both. It can't be, oh, this is like a super degen platform, but it's also very stable and gives you a good good yield. That's like those are incompatible. So yeah, I think about that a lot. I think it's like I hope that there's an equal number of kind of quiet, but maybe like the silent, like the quiet majority, where there's actually a lot of people that want uh, to have like a stable, more stability, projects that aren't just going to go to zero overnight, and are interested in that, but they're just not as vocal as the meme coiners.
Yeah, by nature they have to be noisy and try to get as much attention as they can in as short a amount of time as possible. So it's a different model completely. That's probably true. But my point to it was just like now things have changed a bit in the sense that we all have to keep in mind we have an entire chain now in Geist. And so even if it's not Pixelcraft, like there's a chain out there that um, you know, somebody else could do a pump dot font. We're not busy with that, but theoretically, if it was done properly and it's not going to be full of buggy code, we'd probably let it run. So um, there is that aspect to it. Like other people could do things on the chain and might be better equipped for those types of things. That said, right as it stands today, and the user profiles Geist is for gotchis. So that's where it's at today for sure.
Yeah, I think eventually the meta is gonna it's gonna turn and move because people are gonna eventually get wrecked. Like Giga was a great example of this. Like one whale in like a period of 5 minutes, basically one clipped or two or three clipped $2 million of Giga, which sent it down from like a 500 million market cap to 85 million. So it's like once people realize that these coins have like very small liquidity, the hot potato game gets real very quickly.
Man, this time change. I'm like seeing Roxiano and FaZe on stage. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already 9, my local time. Bummer. I joined so late. So we should answer this one question though from Immaterial before we hand off, right? So Immaterial said, can you quickly speak to how Gachi relates to Gachiverse player rewards and also the loot boxes? Um, just I think with the launch of Gachi this week, um, it's been pretty good, but there's some maybe confusion around it. So for people that are already farming Alchemica at the basic level, um, we'll go live with Alchemica recipes for crafting initially, but over time, when Scotchy goes live, you'll start seeing more and more recipes that are making use of the Gachi as a base kind of token for the recipe. So you'll see a phasing out of Alchemica, but Alchemica always has utility because Alchemica gets you the Gachi. So with our limited time, speak into that really quick. I think it's pretty straightforward unless there's something more specific you're getting at there. And then loot boxes, maybe we can, I don't know, Dan, do you have anything to say about loot boxes? Like we can incorporate those probably more once the raids and more competitive gameplay comes online.
Yeah, I think we've talked. I don't know. Exactly which loot box or what aspect of it you're referring to. We are working on them first. I think Gotchi Guardians will be either the first, or they'll all be either launching all at the same time, or Gotchi Guardians will probably be the first to start with them. But those are going to be, the loot boxes are kind of more protocol level. Those are going to be purchased with Ghost, not Gotchi. Golden Cross, earlier before you came on, I was kind of explaining the idea of Gotchi as like a culture token. So it's not like when we put out Alchemica, they were specifically focused on crafting in the Gotchi verse, whereas Gotchi it's got a bit bigger scope. Whereas it's a currency, and it will be used for things. You could buy stuff in the Gotchi verse with it, but I also envision it as like even bigger than like as an in-game currency for the Gotchiverse game. The Gotchiverse is more of like speaking to the whole of Aavegotchi, the kind of the IP, and ways that you could potentially spend your Gotchi to get other cultural things within the game, like in the Gotchi IP.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, at the end, it's really just consolidating. I also saw comments like too many tokens. I'm like, we're actually trying to consolidate.
Yeah, we're
and
trying to
fix
simplify
fractured
things.
liquidity.
Yeah, there is. We agree. There's probably too many tokens, so we're going to end up with 3 GGG tokens. We'll have Ghost, Gotchi, and Glitter. 3 tokens with kind of 3 very distinct use cases.
Yep. Tokenized time, tokenized culture, governance, and currency. Oh, yeah, I think it'll work out nice. The big 3 pillars. All right, Chonya said it. Let's get down to business.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, you sound good.
Yep.
GM, everybody.
GM. Let me start a new recording.